Welcome to Futures in the Making, the podcast where we dive into the journeys of inspiring leaders shaping the future. Today's guest is Maryna Khomich, a founder of Recrucial, a great recruiting agency from Netherlands. With over 15 years of experience, Maryna has hired over 1,000 professionals, built tech communities, and helped startups and global companies recruit in Viber Strive. If you enjoy stories about innovation, leadership, and career growth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's get started. Hello, Maryna. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you for the first time in real online meeting. I would love to start with small blitz questions,
Okay.
just to warm up. You should.
Hi, Alena.
You should choose just one option. Okay.
Okay.
Startups or corporations?
Startups.
Good. Hackathons or conferences?
I think conferences.
Viber or Telegram?
Viber.
Surprisingly. Sourcing or interviewing?
Sourcing.
Employer branding or employee engagement?
Employee engagement.
Minsk or Amsterdam?
Another hard one, you know. Oh, Amsterdam, I think.
You left your heart in Amsterdam. Okay. Go to a rock concert or read a book at home?
Rock concert. Definitely.
Got it. I forgot to ask, extrovert or introvert?
Extrovert.
Great, thank you. Now everything's clear for me. So the next question I would love to ask is about community. So it's about HR community, tech community, and as I remember, you've always been a well-known figure in tech and HR community in Belarus, where we're from. And what brought you to the most recognition or popularity in this field?
I started to following some influencers and following information about the conferences and such stuff early in my career. When I just started working at EPAM, I was a recruiter back then, and I started my career just from scratch. So before starting work as a recruiter, I gained a professional education in HR field, master's degree in Belarus, and when I thought that I know a lot about the HR, I didn't know a lot about recruitment. So when I started my work at EPAM, I learned a lot. There were a lot of internal company like training and studying and learning and so on. But those time there weren't so much information about the recruitment, about how to properly be a recruiter. So I searched each piece of information in the internet, and I started following some girls, for example, Katya Lusto, now she's Katya Koval. She wrote some articles. She had a blog back then, and I was also searching for the information about the conferences, because for me it was the only chance, only source of information about my profession, only source of knowledge. Back then I also didn't know English that well. Now I can say that I fluently speak English, or know it's a pretty high level, but at least I can read books, articles, and listen to podcasts. But back then I couldn't, so I gathered all such kind of information to learn. And after visiting my first HR conference in 2012, I realized that the most valuable way to attend the conference, to broaden your network there, to have new valuable connections is to speak at the conference. So right after my first attendance of conference and IT Atvet, Find an Answer in St. Petersburg in 2012, in 2013, I was invited there as a speaker. So that's how I started. And also, I started my own, let's say, HR blog in Live Journal, I suppose. I started to write about recruitment because for me it was a way to learn. So I just did it to study like myself.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty similar. I just started something similar to your story, to your blog on LinkedIn, but in 2017, just because I went to tech field later, I guess. Yeah, but it's a bold move, to gain connections right away with a speaker position, because regularly people prefer to adopt in the surrounding, to go to watch, to look out for everyone else. But that was a great and bold move. So did you ever feel like a kind of a celebrity in this HR community?
You know, not. I didn't feel such way, but my husband did. Once upon a time, I invited him to attend the conference with me, together with me. I had a +1 and so on. And my husband was a Scrum Master, so he also had an interaction with people. He had a leadership position, so for him, HR conference would be also beneficial. So I took him with me, and when I attended the lectures or speeches, my husband met a lot of my colleagues in the hall, and they just came to him and said things like, "I know you. You are Maryna Khomich husband. I read about you in her
It's,
Facebook."
it's like a second-hand celebrity,
Yeah, kind of stuff. So he remember these till those times. So we quite often laugh on it.
Yeah, recently when I felt this celebrity, I don't know, it's like a joke. I hope that no one will consider this as a serious move, but we went to Warsaw previous September, and I was standing with my husband, waiting for the green light, and it was like night, like 10, 9 p.m., I guess. And one guy approached us and said, like, I would just wanted to say hi because I subscribed or follow you for a long period of time. Just wanted to say, like, it's cool to meet you. Like, okay, that was really nice. And because I already, after moving to the US, I almost forgot that some people can know me from my LinkedIn and so on, because everything is different here.
You still write a great contact, and I'm enjoying reading
Thank you.
your posts and articles on LinkedIn. So that's quite helpful and interesting.
Thank you so much. So do you. And it's just different because LinkedIn doesn't want to make me a celebrity here in the Bay Area. It just showed my posts to Polish audience mostly, and understandable why, because of a lot of my followers moved from Belarus to or from Ukraine to Poland, and that's funny. But I work on this, so I don't want to lose my great audience from Poland, but I also want to acquire some new from here, from the Bay Area. What kind of professional public life is there in Amsterdam or in Europe for you?
Here in Amsterdam, there is an HR community, and also there is a huge startup community. So now I can say that I mostly focused on the startup community for now, because my audience are there. We at Recrucial are trying to help startups to grow. That's why I have a lot of conversation with startuppers. I'm following them. I try to get into this community to understand their needs, their pains, what they're struggling with, what they're interested in. So mostly I'm attending an events with the startup community, but I also definitely pay attention to the HR community to understand the, let's say, nowadays actual topics, because the agenda is changing and you need to be um, to know all these changes. But I also can say that it's pretty hard to get into it, get into this community, because I put it a lot of effort to find this community, to attend some events. Some of the events were pretty awkward, and I understood after I joined them that maybe it's not what I was looking for, but anyway, you can make a new connection. You can have a valuable conversation. You can touch an interesting topics with these guys. So I can say that, here in Amsterdam, there are a lot of communities among the expats, among the local residents, among the startuppers and HRs. And I'm trying to follow them. And last year, I even attended the TNW conference, which is fortunately was based in Zandam, where I live. So I just cycled there, and it was pretty interesting, and had a lot of great talks, and I also meet interesting people over there. So I think it's a major event here in the Netherlands. I mean, in high-tech sphere, but I'm following also the events in the AI sphere and let's say high-tech oriented.
Got it. So that's interesting that I haven't seen a lot of posts about this on LinkedIn from you, and maybe I've missed them, but it will be really interesting for me. I'm kind of curious what is the networking and tech life there in Poland, for example, or in Europe. So as a follower, please please study my request about posting a bit more about these events, because I think that for me it's really interesting what life is there. Yeah. And
thank you. Request accepted.
thank you. And I just you said that some of these events they were awkward. You're talking about startup events.
You know, I'm talking about Women in Tech event. I attended such kind of event last year, and I understood when I joined the event, I understood that it was focused more on the hiring activities. So if you are a woman and if you are looking for a job, so it could be valuable for you to attend such event, because there are a lot of recruiters there. They're kind of interviewed you. So you can broaden your network with recruiters, with some companies who are sponsor each event, because each time it's like a different companies doing that. Yeah, when I was there, I realized that maybe I'm in the wrong place. But despite this fact, I connected with all the recruiters who were there, and I followed them on LinkedIn. So I broadened my network a little bit. So it also were useful for me.
That's interesting because a friend of mine here is hosting the Women in Tech in San Francisco events,
Uh-huh.
and they're probably more focused on networking in business area, I should say. So
Mhm.
the regular guests are women founders, or not only women founders, but yeah, there are a lot of job seekers there, but not that much recruiters, I should say. That's interesting. I have this tricky question. Why does the Belarusian IT and HR community feel so fragmented, or was it just my impression? So I joined the community in 2018, probably because I
Mhm.
started my first job in tech in 2018. For me, it wasn't very welcoming, I should say. So comparing to HR community in other areas where I were before in retail or in internet marketing, it was more open and friendly than tech community for me at first. And maybe it's just this first impression, but I think that I didn't make a lot of meaningful connections in Belarus. I only had a lot of friends with whom I worked with, yeah, but not the community. What's your opinion on that, or is just my view?
It's hard for me to say something about that because when I first joined an HR community, I heard about different levels or different groups in this HR
Mm,
community. So a group of kind of older ones
mm,
who has a lot of experience in profession and so on,
mm,
and the more younger ones who just entered the profession. And from my observation, these two bubbles, these two areas didn't quite intersect. But I don't know how to formulate it.
were you older or younger?
But back then I was in younger younger
Okay.
group, so I made some connections inside of this group
Mhm,
with girls like as I mentioned, Katya Koval, or I don't know, Masha Bulanova back
mhm,
then, Yana Pateva, and
mhm,
other girls, and we were pretty the same age, so
mhm,
it was easy for us to I don't know, to interact,
mhm,
to find a common ground.
mhm,
um, maybe I just didn't uh, maybe I just didn't see another bubbles or another fragments of this community. So maybe I just I don't know, maybe I just followed some particular persons, or I was invited in
I'm sorry.
some fluffy
It was an intersection.
beauty pie.
Okay. Uh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Nice, nice.
I'm here. I'm listening. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I just didn't notice another groups, or I just didn't know about any kind of another chats or groups where guys gathered. So I can say that, but maybe it was just out of my observation.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel when I moved to the US that I started to be more open, and
Mhm.
realized how stupid was it not to make friends, because maybe that's because I was too shy or inconfident. I don't know. So, but I think that the atmosphere wasn't that open as it here, and I just feel that I want to bring this open atmosphere back. So to not back, but to a new HR community from our countries, because it's such a power to make friends, not enemies. Sounds very cliche, but that's true. And when you have a lot of friends, you can move some things, you can change a lot, and yeah. So it's just for me, it was a mistake not to be more open. I don't know why. Maybe there was a something that happened that days. So I went to an interview to Lex IT Bird, and we had this. I was one of his first guests, probably not the first, but I mean, after that he had a lot of new guests, and it was in 2018, and I went there, and I thought that I was prepared, and I was answering his questions with all of my heart, sincerity, and honestly. After that, I read some comments, and they were awful. Like I felt so embarrassed, and it was their comments. Some of them were nice, but there were a lot of bad comments about my expertise, about everything, by the way. And
I feel your pain.
yeah, and I understand this kind of reaction on HR and recruiter from tech, like from developers, from engineers. There was that. I don't know. I don't agree, but there was this views that HR is a questionable profession that days. But it was the more upsetting that I read a lot of these comments from HRs. And after some period of time, Lex even decided to close comments because there were a lot of bad feedback, and he didn't want to have this toxic stuff in this video. Yeah, and I think that that was one of the something that changed my openness. Yeah, so maybe I was too weak, but I decided that I don't want to show off a lot among HR community.
I feel your pain. When I write an article, articles for the Belarusian media, high-tech media, or when some of the media published kind of interview with me or something, because Viber was still is a well-known company in Belarus, especially like with a famous product,
Yeah.
also with some kind of interesting, let's say, reputation, but still. But firstly, I tried to start my blog on Hubber back then, and the Hubber community is based on karma. So if your article gains some likes and good reaction, you can proceed with writing. If no, you are banned from publishing another content. And so, firstly, I faced such kind of a perception of our profession and kind of reaction on the HR, let's say HR
Field.
talks
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So I realized that it won't be so nice and positive. But when I started to write an article, articles for DevBuy, for example, and I saw the comments, first time I was shocked. But after that, I just developed a rule for me that I read the comments in the first and the second day after publication. Maybe at first I even answered to the comments, but now my rule number 2 is not answering the comments. So I'm there not to I don't know, not to argue with someone, not to pursue someone in my opinion. No, I just would like to share knowledge, and I understand that those people who actually leave comments have some professional or personality traits that I'm personally, I don't know, not very a lot. But I know that some smart people are reading those articles. These articles and these sorts are helping them somehow, or maybe in some cases these sorts are interesting for them. Beside the comments, I received a huge positive feedback from those who read my articles. So from these articles, some of my partners, current partners, came to me, some of the clients. So smart people read this stuff and make their own conclusions, not based on the comments, but based on the content that you shared. Haters gonna hate, and they're always are gonna hate. I just developed some rules for me to save my I don't know, self-esteem.
I feel you. Like recently, the journalist from one popular recent tech media wrote me about my Stanford study, and I was thinking for several hours, do I want to tell about it or not? And decided that I want, because the same idea that I just want to read these comments. Those who will find it interesting and supportive, probably they won't write comments, unfortunately, but this is the truth. And I want to share something that I find very inspiring for me anyway. And I also saw your articles, and I was shocked with this. Like, I always thought that your brand was very respectable in even in among tech folks. But when I saw these reactions, like, oh my god, this is just rot rot something. I don't know. It's something wrong and rot in this area. It's too toxic. Okay, thank you for the sincerity. Like, we shared our pains. Yeah. And,
yeah.
How will the HR community and tech community evolve in the next 5 years? Because this podcast is also about the future, some predictions. That's interesting to know your opinion as an expert.
That's an interesting question, because I see both positive and the kind of negative tendencies in communications, in the way we communicate nowadays. From the negative perspective, I see that a lot of big amount of specialists share not their own thoughts, but kind of subtract from artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT or Gemini or something. So some kind of such stuff. But from the other hand, I see I'm still seeing that people are unified around such kind of topics. I mean, HR and recruitment based. In the what I am observing in the Netherlands and in the Poland, for example, that there are like two types of communities. One type is the communities of local experts, and on the other side, the community of the expats in this country. And talking about Poland, for example, there are a community of Belarusian HR specialists and recruiters, and there are another community of Ukrainian citizens and HRs and recruiters. I can imagine that maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, it could be one huge community. But today, because of the different languages they use, they are separated. But I still see that some kind of enthusiasts are still creating such a communities around their circle of friends or colleagues, and these communities are growing. So I know some HR communities in Poland, know some here, and I see that people are still joining, and people are still sharing their knowledge. Some of these communities are built around particular, for example, HR or recruitment school. So guys who are running consulting companies, who are running, in some cases, recruitment agencies, or who has their own practice, or trying to build HR or recruitment school. Also trying to gather a community around this, around their business or around their ideas, to grow the audience. So community evolves from this idea of some kind of business, or some kind of co-workers connections, and such kind of stuff. And I don't see, honestly, I don't see a tendency that we're gonna have smaller amount of community, or such stuff. Maybe the way we share our knowledge, or the way we communicate in this community, will evolve. I mean, the most I don't know, appreciable, I think, way of connecting is to hold a meetup, or kind of conference, which I choose rather than hackathons, because I honestly love conferences, because you can share the ideas with a lot of big amount of people, and big amount of colleagues. So it's a great format, which I personally prefer. But in this format of personal interactions are the most maybe warm, and the most the people, especially HR people, like, because we like to talk to people. We like such kind of interactions. But maybe it also, this community will also evolve in some kind of online communications. I For example, I have in mind HR breakfast community from Belarus. They had a huge community in Telegram, different groups, and so on. So people proceed communicating after live events in some kind of chats, and maybe it is our future, and maybe there will be more formats in which we can interact, rather than just personal talk, or chatting. Maybe, I don't know, for example, now live formats in Instagram are popular, and sometimes I'm attending live session from my colleagues from Poland, or from Ukraine, also, and it's also interesting. So maybe it will evolve in something like that, kind of more online, and more, I don't know, video format or something.
Thank you. And my opinion on this is that we need to create a community that bridges Europe and the US and all of these communities inside Europe, because we can connect top experts and fostering knowledge sharing. And in part, I started this podcast also with this idea to connect. That's why I've chosen this language, because it seems like English is the less conflict language nowadays that can connect people. And what I see here that really differ from Poland, for example, where our previous group mostly went, that the community here are very mixed. So they don't, you can attend every event. Maybe you can join only closed parties, but it's obvious. But there are a lot of events, a lot of offline events for HRs, for recruiters, for founders and recruiters, for founders. And you as a guest can join each one, and you will be welcomed, and that's cool. And people build a lot of these horizontal connections in different fields, in different areas. And what about communities in social media networks, or communities in messengers, WhatsApp? is building their communities right now, and they're pretty similar to what is was in Telegram, and people take it serious here. So they create communities, they create newsletters around these communities, and host events around it, earn money on this too. So I also see as a future. Yeah. So
Oh, sounds cool.
yeah, yeah. So we should take a note about it. Let's move further to the next interesting topic for me is your recruiting company. And I want to share my story that we were building our company Key People in the US, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been incredibly challenging. We made a number of mistakes, especially in 2022 and 2023, when we didn't focus on active marketing and other important decisions. Honestly, we were in a state of shock, like immigration and war. It all took a toll. And as a result, we lost many old clients and struggled to attract new ones. And the market is so different from it was before 2022 and 2018, for example, when it was booming. And
Oh yeah.
what was the biggest challenge you faced when starting your recruiting agency in a new country, and how did you overcome it?
Let me think, because when you are starting your own business abroad, barely speaking the language of the country you are founded a business in. So almost almost every aspect is a challenge. But what helped me is that. I started to act as an entrepreneur in 2021.
Mm-hmm,
So back then, I found, for example, an accountant who helped me uh, with the taxes, with all the legal part.
mm-hmm,
So I already when I started Recrucial, I've already have a basis and basic understanding what I'm gonna do
mm-hmm,
and where I would like to go. The major challenge, I would say, is a client engagement, because our company is based in the Netherlands.
mm-hmm,
My most of my audience, most of my network are in Belarus, or some of them relocated to Poland, to Cyprus, to other European countries.
mm-hmm.
But we as a Netherlands company, we can't work with Belarus or Russia. So I can't go there and let's say monetize my network. The
Understandable, 100%. Same story. Yeah, that's why I'm so curious. Yeah.
The last 3 years, 3 years before I started Recrucial, I worked in Ukrainian market. So I have a network and some, um, um, I know some companies there, but
Mm-hmm.
it also pretty hard to get into those markets because I'm Belarusian. I learned Ukrainian language, and now I can speak Ukrainian also, which helped me a
Cool.
lot in the negotiations, in the like gaining a customer. So I can
Wow.
write them in Ukrainian, I can speak with them in Ukrainian, but still I'm from another country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it gaining clients was a main challenge, and still is, because first clients we worked with, and we are still working with them, are my friends who relocated to European countries, are my former colleagues from almost all the companies I worked in.
Mm-hmm.
I have some amazing colleagues with whom my paths crossed. So I'm working with them, and even some of candidates who I hired for the technical positions,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 15 or 10 years ago, they have grown up, and now
Mm-hmm.
some of them also have their own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it also helps a lot. Now I'm on the stage. I'm joking about that I'm a proof of concept of each role in the recruitment agency. Despite a recruiter, I have recruiters in my team, but I'm an operational manager, I'm a sales manager, I'm a marketer, I'm a copywriter, and so on and so on. So to perform this roles well, you need to dive deep into particular field. But here also nowadays there are a lot of resources you can use to learn. There are a lot of also communities, and artificial intelligence also helps a lot. So
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my assistant, is my coworker, is my some sometimes is my lawyer, advisor, and co-founder.
Yeah.
uh, it
Yeah.
helps a lot. But yeah, I think gaining a new clients is a major pain, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get into the local market, because I have a mentor here in the Netherlands who
Mm.
owned two recruitment companies and sold
Right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But even with his network and connections, it's hard to get into the Netherlands market. But I'm learning Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that maybe in 3 or 4 years I can speak in Dutch with
Wow.
local representatives and local companies. So maybe it will help me to, I don't know, get some local businesses on board.
Yeah, so I wish you luck. And I wonder how big is this Netherlandian market is.
It's quite big. When I attended the TNV conference
Mm-hmm.
last year, I used to know a lot of companies, and
Mm-hmm.
also for one of my partners, I did a research last year about the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands businesses, and high tech sphere is pretty developed here. Netherlands is a let's say small startups hub in Europe. So I know that in Europe, the major um, high-tech hubs are based in England, in Germany, in the Netherlands, and I think in
Warsaw.
Poland, definitely. Yeah,
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 Warsaw.
yeah. Poland is a big market, and
Growing.
developing market also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I read the predictions that in 5 years, Poland will be the biggest market in Europe in terms of high-tech companies. And also I can say that Portugal, they work a lot on
Mm.
building a tech community and creating the laws that
Yeah.
would attract
Conditions. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
more companies, or
Mm-hmm.
and more specialists and digital nomads. So yeah, here is in the Netherlands a lot of startup accelerators. I think about 20 or 30 recognized by immigration centers. So
Mm-hmm.
I know about that because there are possibility to get a startup visa here in the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands, and to get it, you need to have a contract with one of the local accelerators.
Mm-hmm.
And I researched this theme, and I know that there are about 30 accelerators in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Taking into account that the population of the Netherlands is about 20, I don't know, 17 millions, and
Mm-hmm.
the territory is like 5 times,
Compact.
yeah, less than Belarus. To compare, it like comparable to Gomelskaya Oblast.
Yeah.
So it's a small country, but with a lot of high-tech businesses.
Yeah, but it's very intense. That's cool. So, I wonder how difficult it is to start a company in Netherlands, and what is the situation with taxes? Because me from Californian view, so California has almost the highest taxes in the U.S. Only New York and I know Hawaii. These
Mhm.
states they have higher taxes, but I wonder what is and it seems like in Europe taxes are huge and this responsibility for businesses they are huge and you better not start any kind of business there. Yes, that's interesting. What's the reality?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about the taxes and about the regulations also for
Hmm.
companies. Regarding the taxes, I can say that yeah, the taxes are high, and uh, for example, if you have a European passport, you can definitely choose, let's say, location to start your business or to have a headquarters in Estonia, for example,
Hmm.
or even um,
Cyprus?
even maybe Cyprus or Portugal, maybe.
Hmm.
In the Netherlands, there is a progressive scale of taxes. So
Hmm.
it really depends on your income, but you can start the business with, you can play with legal entities. Depends on your income, depends on if you are gonna hire some employees or you would like to work with B2B contractors, for example.
Hmm.
So you can play around that.
So
Huh?
what's the medium like taxes for tech for recruiting agency? I don't know, with an income of I don't know, let's say 200,000 euros.
With that income, if you have a private entrepreneurship, you will pay 49% on
49.
taxes.
Mm-hmm.
If you have LLC, local
Mm-hmm.
LLC called BV,
Mm-hmm.
in that case, you will pay, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but maybe about 19% of your income. So
Yeah,
you can play, around that.
so
Um,
19% is it doesn't sound that awful, yeah? So I mean that's pretty good.
yeah, I don't remember exactly. Maybe 90% is a taxes for when you trying to, how to say it, when you're trying to get your dividends, maybe
Mm,
for the income taxes, maybe around 36%. But if
got
you
it.
would like to hire someone into a company, first of all, you need to be aware of the regulations, because if you hire someone in the Netherlands with a permanent contract, you almost can't fire this employee despite the bad performance or something.
Mm-hmm.
So employees are covered here. Employees are covered by law
Well.
so great, so well, yeah, that you almost you can not perform at all, and
Mm-hmm.
you still be like unfireable. Or if you, for example, have some kind of health issues, depression, or something, the company can fire you and should cover your salary, and
Mm-hmm.
even is in some cases cover your medical expenses. That's
Wow.
why companies here mostly offer you the 1 year contract. So
Mm,
to have a possibility, if you will not perform well, they can fire you in 1 year, and
mm,
the story will be end. The story
yeah.
will end with that. But what I also know, that companies here likes to hire subcontractors. That's why service companies are thriving in Europe, I suppose, because a lot of local companies prefers, especially big companies, prefers to hire contractors, so they can adjust the headcount, they can adjust the projects just by signing a contract with them or firing them. In long term, it is cheaper for the companies and safer also. That's why
I see. Yeah, I see. I see. I see reasons why companies, especially big companies, prefer to work with the subcontractors, with the outsourcing companies. Even big tech works with them, like Apple or Google. They have some part of their personnel as a contractors, because it's easy not to prolong contract. Yeah, you can, and it won't be called as a layoffs and oh my god, Google layoffs, a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, so they have less responsibilities. But if talking about the US, the regulations about hiring are much lower here, and I think that probably that's in some way beneficial for the hiring market, because each company, they can lay off you in a day, but there is a maybe in California, there is a law that if you lay off someone, that you should pay 2 months salary, but that's it. So nothing more than this. And but in other states, you shouldn't pay anything at all. And as an employee, you also can finish your work in a day. It's like you decided to quit, and there is no responsibilities you shouldn't notice. There is a culture of noticing your employer in 2 weeks that you're going to, that you're going to quit. Sometimes you can work longer, for a month, for example, but like no hard feelings. And it's easier for companies to hire in like as an employees here. That's why the B2B contractors idea aren't popular in the US at all. And I see a lot of European companies that try to start their US expansion with hiring B2B contractors, sales specialists, for example, and it doesn't work here. So you can't hire a top performer as a B2B contractor in the US. It's just suspicious for them. So it's better to open a small company somewhere in Delaware, I don't know, and hire maybe a remote person there, but to hire. And it's there is no difference of hiring them as a contractor or as a employee, almost at all. So no, in terms of responsibilities or in taxes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so what's the biggest difference between running your own recruitment agency and working in a corporation? And have you had this idea on starting your new career in Europe in some corporation?
I'll start with the differences because it's completely different worlds. And the main difference, I would say, is that if you are running your own business, I assume you will agree with me that you need to work a lot on yourself, much, 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 much more, rather than when you are working in the corporation and the hired staff, because all the challenges that you face as an entrepreneur touch some features, some characteristics of your personality, and some of them are work for you and some of them are work against you. You need to work on that a lot because no one can cover your back, so you can rely only on yourself, and you need to understand what prevent you from getting a result that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, as I see for myself, I work a lot. I'm working a lot on my leadership skills. I'm trying to be a best manager for my employees. I learning and studying the forms of feedback, how to get it. I even run kind of test talk with my husband when I gonna provide some feedback to the team. So to tune in and not to say something that I will regret about.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be confident to hold negotiations with the clients to
Mm-hmm.
sell properly your product or service. For me, the main difference is how much you need to work on yourself and how
Mm-hmm.
much you need to improve your self, not only from the professional perspective, but mostly from psychological perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it is rather counterintuitive because I didn't expect that. I expect that maybe I will need to work more, longer hours, or
Mm-hmm.
I will need to do different kind of work, which I actually do, but I didn't expect that I need to work so much in my personality. And in work, while you're working in the corporations, in the corporation, all you need to think about is how to do a great job and how to make a meaningful and connections with your peers, managers, stakeholders, and so on. But in your own business, you also need to figure out how to scale, how to, I don't know, um, build the motivation packages, how to approach this or that client,
Mm-hmm.
how to work with the different markets. So, it requires a lot of learning, a lot of working, and um, when I heard about, you know, like you need to work 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was thinking that it is about that you are sitting in front of your laptop and trying to, you know, just create contracts, searching for candidates or mailing potential clients and so on. But in fact, this work is always in your head, and
Mm-hmm.
when you are reading some book, you just thinking about, oh, he said that, and in this situation I would say that, and maybe I should also use this tactic. When you are watching movie, especially some kind of movies about corporations, about I don't know. There are a lot of movies about Steve Jobs,
Uh-huh.
and once my husband suggested me to watch this movie at the evening, I just answered, I don't want to watch a movie about my job.
Mhm.
Let's watch something recreational. So
Yeah,
um,
National Geographic, for example. So, have you thought of returning to a big corporational world and start your professional career in Europe?
yeah, I thought about it, but I thought about it last year when I was on crossroads and I needed to choose my next move.
Hmm.
But I was assumed last year that it's a not right time to enter the market, especially in the foreign country.
Hmm.
I mean, the Netherlands for me,
Hmm.
because the markets are in crisis. You can search for a job here in the Europe. In Europe, I don't know, for half a year on a year, it's like a normal
Hmm.
terms. So maybe I will do it. Maybe I will do it later.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe about joining some kind of here in the Netherlands. There is a huge recruitment agency named Randstad,
Mm-hmm.
and I live in the suburb of Amsterdam in
Mm-hmm.
Zandam. It's pretty close to Amsterdam, but
Mm-hmm.
Randstad has two offices here in Zandam also. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge corporation. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe when I need to retire, I can't imagine myself not working, but but maybe in a I don't know, several years, maybe 10 to 20,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to join such kind of corporation just as an individual performer, not even as a manager, because sometimes I would like just, I don't know, focus on some kind of simple tasks or something. But yeah,
I see.
um, I don't think that it is a good time to get into the labor market now. And the last year was also mm, not a good time. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm held in some kind of career consultations for the guys who relocated abroad, and they when they came to me and asked if what to do to get a job nowadays in
Mm-hmm.
Europe, I advise them not to change their job unless they're completely unsatisfied or they had no other choice. Because I see that if you are in the labor market today
Mm-hmm.
in 2025, or the situation was pretty similar last year,
Mm-hmm.
if you are not data scientist or AI engineer or I don't know, prompt engineer,
Mm-hmm.
it will take a long time before you can get some kind of
Mm-hmm.
satisfying offer. And from my experience as the recruiter and the agency owner, what I see in negotiations of the candidates and the
Mm-hmm.
clients we are working with, a lot of candidates receiving offers slightly less rather than they required.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's because candidates sometimes are started negotiations with the, you know, top of the um,
Mm-hmm.
top of the salary they could expect to negotiate it
Mm-hmm.
during the job offer session. But what I see is, what I advise to companies and also to candidates is to have such salary negotiations before or after receiving an offer. So
Mm-hmm.
you definitely need to do this these times because the markets are pretty hard to
Mm-hmm.
nowadays.
I see. And US market is also harder nowadays than it was before 2022. And but I think that I see some candidates that are looking for a job for 2 years, and I see some candidates that can land a job in a month. Yeah, so it's unstable and unpredictable in some areas, and it's really differ from state to state and from some area of the state too. So, for example, where I live in the Bay Area, there are a lot of vacancies, and probably what can stop you from landing a job is that you have higher expectations of salary, yes, then
Mhm.
you probably need to wait more and to fight more. I recently talked with a hiring manager in designing area, and he said that he posted a designer vacancy himself and received 300 applicants in an hour. And some of them were totally irrelevant, but some of them were like relevant. So the competition is awful. Yeah, so you need to find um, a vacancy, and you need to find other ways how to present yourself to hiring managers and to recruiters too. So like referrals and networking and so on, because you will compete with a lot of people.
Yeah, you need to do a lot of stuff, and you need to prepare hard to
Yeah,
get a job.
and my advice for those who are willing to change their job in the nearest future is to start work on it right away. So not to wait, just
Hmm.
work in your current company, but you should prepare yourself, like start some mock interviews, understand your weaknesses and your strengths, and go to networking events just to stand out among other candidates. Start your LinkedIn profile. And by the way, we will have a next guest, and this guest is like profi in creating great LinkedIn accounts for businesses and for people, and for so individuals. So we'll find
Cool,
out
cool,
the
cool.
secrets. Yeah.
I
Uh,
will wait for this episode of your podcast.
Thank you so
It
much.
will be interesting to see.
And so, as a founder, how do you stay ahead of emerging trends in recruitment to ensure your agency remains relevant and innovative?
Oh, that's an interesting topic. I have several approaches to do that. One of them is that I'm working a lot on building connections on LinkedIn. I'm trying to find experts in not only in the tech sphere, in tech companies as a potential clients, but also some kind of specialists in the recruitment field and in the HR field, who shares some kind of um, crazy or super interesting and brand new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I follow them, and I have um, a list in my LinkedIn Sales Navigator
Mm-hmm.
for inspiration. So I
Mm-hmm.
just check in once a week. I'm just checking news, checking the profiles who posted
Mm-hmm.
about what. So it helps me to know about new interesting instruments and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, I'm super passionate about artificial intelligence. So I'm following the news about new developments in the AI field.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to test and implement in our work as our tools some kind of AI instruments. So now we have um, several instruments we use. All of them are using AI on the background. Some kind of AI. I mean, we use sourcing tool with the implementation of AI. I use transcribing tools. And what's the most interesting, last year, I met a guy who actually came to me from my article on
Mm-hmm.
the Belarusian high-tech media.
Mm-hmm.
My article has awful comments. I was depressed reading them. I was so sad until this guy messaged me in LinkedIn and told me that he read my article and would like to share some ideas with me, and would like me to check his product. He's developing AI interviewer. We met here in Amsterdam. He also Belarusian and
Oh,
lives here. So
great.
and we collaborating now. So we use his development, his instrument, AI interviewer, to broader our pipelines for the positions.
Mm-hmm.
Because to present the candidates to a client, we always do a pre-screen call with the candidates. Our
Mm-hmm.
recruiter
Mm-hmm.
performing this interview. But as you said, when you post a position, you receive a huge amount of applicants and applications. And in some cases, the candidates in their CV looks not fitting pretty much, but you can give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But to reduce the workload on my recruiter for interviewing all these candidates, we offer them to have an interview with an AI assistant. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be a pre-screening call with AI assistant who will ask you all the questions that recruiter usually asks
Mm-hmm.
on pre-screening call, like some details from your CV, some broader summarizing of your experience, and so on and so forth. And for some candidates, we can offer also technical interview
Mm-hmm.
based on the position description. So after that, we can pretty understand the level of the candidate
Mm-hmm.
and even skip some kind of technical interview on the client side. So this tool helps us a lot
Mm-hmm.
so far. And I think that future of the recruitment will be there. As I see, recruitment of a future will be an operator of all these AI tools. You need to have some. You need to have professional knowledge to um, assess the work of these AI tools, to understand if they are correct, because sometimes everything
Yeah.
everything failed, everything could make a mistake. But in a long term, I see that recruitment will be there completely held by AI instruments and needed only one person to orchestrate all this instrument.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see.
Okay, that's an interesting topic. I think that the whole conference on HR could be just about this AI integrations, because I also talk with some founders and some recruiting agencies here, and to companies that are also hiring with different AI tools. And there is some emerging um, worry about where is the line where you give the decision to an AI tool, and will it be beneficial for our society? Because if it will start, it will start everywhere, and we see already this problem here, because as I said previously, the amount of candidates is enormous. That's why all companies, they're trying to filter them through applicant tracking systems, internal applicant tracking system, and also you have this systems in your in on each job board, like Indeed, for example. So the system recommends a recruiter who is the best fit for this role, and a lot of candidates just they won't even shown up. Yeah, they're in so the recruiter won't see them, and you need to create your CV with this idea that it should be easily read by the mm, applicant tracking,
Applicant tracking
by
system.
by the robot. Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's like we're starting this Black Mirror already, and yeah. So just imagine that if somehow you get some kind of a ban in this robot systems, you will be totally out of market. So I agree that we will definitely face this cost. Cost efficient decisions with a lot of AI tools that help us, that streamline the process. But we should talk about it more. Where's the human? human rights law and so on. Because everything is kind of complicated. So because here in California, they already talk about this, about how many decisions can be given to AI tools. And maybe there's going to be some kind of a law enforcement that you can't do some decisions. And
You know,
how to make this AI tool unbiased. Because people are biased, but AI tools, they usually study from human decisions, yeah, and so you can change the person because people usually change. But will this AI tool be changed that fast? So a lot of questions, a lot of interesting questions.
yeah, but I would like to say that I wouldn't delegate the decision making to AI tool. I would delegate making an assessment to an AI tool. I would delegate maybe kind of sourcing a job to AI tool, and I would delegate maybe mailing list to AI tool. So what we currently doing using AI. AI help to craft a job description. AI help to craft a candidate presentation based on the interview transcript. AI could create a great interviewing questions, behavioral questions, and so forth and so on. But when we are assessing employees with AI tool I just mentioned, first of all, the tool provides us with some assessment on every particular question, and we can read the actual answers of the candidate. So for now, we are not relying on the tool completely.
Mhm.
We are experimenting with that, and we are checking the answers, and we try to test it and understand which how candidate was assessed by AI tool, and if our client, for example, proceed with these candidates during the hiring process and perform an interview with them, we after that we compare the results. The
Mhm.
results that we received from an AI tool with the results from the actual interview with real human beings.
Mhm.
It helps us to tune in, and it helps to tune in the AI tool we used. But yeah, I agree with you that for now, I wouldn't delegate a decision making to AI tool. Maybe for
For
now,
now.
I little bit more confident in myself. But in general, I believe in artificial intelligence more than I believe in real people, because in average I see the result that I can get from, I don't know, working together with ChatGPT. These results, in average, they're more precise, they're more accurate, and they're pretty better rather than an average human or an average employee could 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 give. So could give me. So
Yeah.
I think these times are pretty close.
Oh, I see this future in mix of people that will be advanced and will be adjusted with all AI tools. But I hope that we will have it as a tool, not as a main character in our story. Because yeah, why do we need us after that? Okay, so totally different topic, and this is Netherlands. And for me, I don't have a lot of people that living in Netherlands. Um, how did you move to Netherlands?
Oh, that's a funny story. That's a funny story because that's a funny story from two perspectives. One perspective is that Before me, at Viber worked Alla Pavlova.
Mhm.
She worked as a HR generalist
Mhm.
there, and when she and her husband decided to move to the Netherlands, and she started to look for a replacement for her, and she hired me
Mhm.
at Viber. So in 2014, she left Belarus and Viber for
Mhm.
start a new part in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
And exactly 7 years after that, I also relocated to the Netherlands and to the Amsterdam. So we had a joke at Viber. So if you are hired as a recruiter or an HR, so maybe your future is to relocate to another country.
You will end up in Netherlands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a kind of karma pass or something.
Uh-huh.
Um, um, and the different part of this funny story is that I always kept in mind that I would like to live abroad.
Mhm.
And would, but I was thinking about that as a kind of adventure. I never imagined myself like completely relocating and living abroad, but I would like to try a taste of living in another country,
Mhm.
know another culture, to especially like in Netherlands. It's a small country, but it has so huge history and heritage and
Nice
a lot
brand.
of, yeah, yeah, yeah. So how we relocated. My husband received an offer from EPAM Systems in the Netherlands to join the team as a
Mhm.
Scrum Master, Agile coach
Mhm.
here in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
It was 2020 year in Belarus,
Mhm.
but it was early 2020 spring or something.
Mhm.
And our conversation regarding the relocation was pretty short. He just asked me, "What do you think about moving to an Amsterdam?" At first, I was like replying, I dreamed about living in a country with a sea, but more warm weather. Maybe, I
Mhm.
don't know, Portugal, Italy, Spain, but the
Mhm.
Netherlands, it's so rainy and
Mhm.
stuff. But back then, I already knew that the Netherlands had for the European country, a huge tech hub.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
would be interesting from a career perspective.
Mhm.
So the second time when he asked me about the would you like to move there, I just said why not, and
Mhm.
that's it. So we didn't even discuss it a lot. So
So
we
it was
just,
in the beginning of 2020.
yeah, it was the beginning of
So
2020.
just right when the pandemic started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we were so lucky to get this offer
Yeah.
before things got worse, because when we moved here in September, almost every country were locked down, and
Close.
almost no the traveling were allowed. So we just jumped into the into the last train
Uh-huh.
to relocation. So we were really, really lucky to get this opportunity.
Yeah, I see that you were definitely lucky, and at the same moment you were locked in a serious lockdown, I assume, in Netherlands, without family, without like close friends there. How was this? How was the lockdown far away from your home? By the way, spending the lockdown in Belarus was crucially beneficial, yeah, because there was no restrictions in the country, and you like everyone just didn't care about, almost didn't care about. Well, only the
But
benefit of remote work, yeah. So only benefit.
yeah, Yeah, definitely. But even in Belarus, when the pandemic started, we took it seriously. So
Hmm.
we stayed at home. We were wearing masks. We didn't meet with our friends, which some of our friends didn't really get why we behave so weird. But we tried to
You were
be safe.
following these rules and recommendation. Me too, by the way. Yeah. We even
Yeah.
had this online meetings through Zoom with friends, and I remember my one of my closest friends. She had a wedding in like a small wedding, just official part,
Mhm.
and I was zooming a video translate video call with the other friend that was afraid to come due to her like circumstances, and that
Uh-huh.
was wild. I remember this online wedding session, and it was very very small, yeah, just because of this pandemic. It was in the spring 2020. Yes, so I agree, but I see that a lot of people, they just didn't follow any recommendations on it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a funny time with online events. Even if you have a whole office in one city,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
So
you still held a online team building. But it was super interesting also to just have this experience. I'm joking that someone I will write memoirs and mention all the crazy stuff that
yeah.
happened to me in my personal and professional life, especially in the last 5 years. But talking about the Netherlands, yeah, I was pretty upset because of the lockdown restrictions, and
Mhm,
yeah, we had even a curfew in 2020, so we can't go out of our apartment after 10 p.m. So
mhm.
but for us it's fine because we are going to bed early and trying to get up early too, so for us it was okay. And the main frustration was that I expected that I will travel the European country. I will enjoy the Christmas time here, where when everything is decorated so pretty with the
Mhm.
Christmas trees and lights and so on. But our first experience of Christmas here was just the empty streets, because Dutch people, they like to party a lot,
Mhm.
and when everything is closed over there, and no one just have no reason to leave their house. So when we went out for a walk with my for a walk with my husband, we just saw a completely empty streets, and we just joked that it's looked like, I don't know, zombie apocalypse or something, because
Yeah.
no one were on the streets.
You had
um
this exceptional experience of empty Amsterdam. It's like
yeah,
empty
yeah.
Barcelona and empty New York and empty Rome. I don't know. It's just unimaginable. And I hope that it will keep like that for a long period of time. Yeah, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. So we were happy that we have such an exclusive experience walking on on empty Amsterdam streets, but we didn't enjoy it a lot because we like to communicate with the people, and we just arrived at a new country. We would love to make a new connections to but we couldn't go to the office because of the
Yeah.
restrictions. So we couldn't make a connection with the co-workers or
Mm-hmm.
something, because we were working remotely, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go to a gym, we couldn't go to a party or restaurant or something. So it was a little bit frustrating from the like making a new connections point of view. But our experience was great with making connections with other expats from Belarus in the Netherlands, because here a lot of expats from Belarus, and we had some former colleagues or some friends who are living here,
Mm-hmm.
and they welcomed us very in a warm form. They invited us to their houses. They invited us to uh, see new cities and new places. So our integration, I can say that it was really integration, because we were communicating with our like
I see. Yeah, good, got it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with guys from Belarus, but I can say that here we have less friends that we than we had in Belarus, because
Mm-hmm.
actually we had a pretty active agenda, and sometimes we just cancel our plans, our meetings on weekends with our friends here in the Netherlands, because um, it's too much too
Can be
much people
overwhelming.
interactions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, got it. And what was the most unexpected cultural difference you experienced when you first moved to the Netherlands, and how did you adapt?
What I need to think about it. Maybe, yeah. A lot of uh, people say that Dutch people are super direct, and
Mm,
it is true. It is
really?
true. They can say to you, I was impressed by this kind of directness, because, working in the corporate world, you develop the skill
Mm,
to,
soften
um,
everything.
yeah, soften
Sugar
everything, be
coating.
polite. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a cool word, sugarcoating. But people here don't do that. They
Uh-huh.
just direct, say to your face what they are thinking about, what they thinking about you, or I don't know, your work. We faced it firstly with our landlord from our first apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I would say, a little bit shocking at the first time, but after that,
Was
we
it
just get used to it.
was it a pleasant truth or unpleasant truth? It's just
Both, and mostly, I would say unpleasant. I remember one time when our landlord say something behind my back to my husband, ask him why I'm not cooking at home or something, and I just I was so shocked that he just brought up this topic.
uh-huh,
I was really, really, really surprised
uh-huh,
that he decided to talk about it. So he brought a pans to our apartment for
uh-huh,
us to be able to cook. And
uh-huh.
in 2 weeks, he visited us again and asked how was the pans. And we didn't try it yet. And he just looked at my husband and asked him, does she not cook it? Why?
Uh,
I
yeah.
was super surprised.
Um, yeah, that's unexpected for me, especially for those who are hosting that amount of international tourists, and especially after living in the US, where everything sugarcoating like in two layers, and you get used to this very fast. So when I mm, went to Poland previous year and the year previous year, I was shocked with Polish. I don't know if it's straightforward, but it's just a straightforward face appearance. Yeah, face expression. And usually it's like moody, not welcoming. And it's so rude after you just get used to like where everyone is like, hi, how are you doing? So like a very friendly first first minutes with new people. Okay, got it. And um, so what advice would you give to someone struggling with feelings of nostalgia or homesickness while adapting to a new country?
It's hard for me to give an advice in this area because uh, I'm myself avoiding to look at the photos from Belarus, to look at the videos, and so forth. Um, of course, some of my friends who are still in Belarus, they're
Mhm,
posting stories. Sometimes they even send me a small videos of a street view or something. My mother also like to share with me some
mhm,
kind of videos, but honestly, I feel pain watching them,
mhm,
and this pain is caused because I can't visit my country. I can go there at least for now, and even during the first year, I'm a big fan of Belarusian music.
mhm,
There are a lot of cool Belarusian bands that I used to know when I lived there, and
mhm,
after that, but during the first year, I even couldn't hear the Belarusian music because I started crying and
mhm,
I can't stop. So now I feel better about this. But I don't know. I just can't give any kind of advice because maybe for me it works just to avoid these topics, these just to avoid this informational bubble,
mhm,
not following news a lot. For
mhm,
sure, you will see some news because related to your I don't know, home country. They will pop up in Google,
mhm,
in social networks for sure. But if you would like to have no, I don't know, painful feelings, I would advise to just not looking at it and not dive deep into some um, actual topics in your home country because it's too hard. It get better when our friends started to visit us.
mhm,
I can say that it started mostly in 2023,
mhm.
not even in 2022, because when the war started, there was a lot of changes in laws, in like
Yeah,
crossing
like
the
these are problems
borders and
and
so on.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So in 2023, we started first hosting our friends and our homes, and it helped us a lot. I saw my sister for the first time in 3 years, saw my mother for the first time in 3 years, and it was kind of relieving, you just
Yeah.
can connect and physically touch your loved
Yeah.
ones.
And this feeling that nothing has changed. Yeah, that's I also hosted my family here.
Mhm.
It's hard living in the US to um, get some of your friends here. So that's why I traveled to Europe mostly.
Mhm.
But I hope that like I'm very welcome, well, very welcoming at this point. But yeah, when my family came first time, I realized like yeah, now I can like breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, I always understand that immigration is going to be hard, but even with this online technologies and so on, you still feel this pain a lot. And yeah, it gets better when you integrate somehow here and you start to feel that it's all your new home too. But I don't think that this pain will ever go away. It's gonna be less loud, but not like it won't go forever. And
Yeah.
my pretty last question. I wanted to ask a question, like a favorite HR question. Who do you see yourself in 10 years? But maybe I will change it, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? But I would love to know, where do you see yourself in, like, in the future, and who?
I need to share that I always struggle to answer such a question because for me, always it was hard to imagine what I'm gonna do in future. And
Uh-huh.
my approach to work and career was just do your best, learn and study a lot,
Mhm.
and
Go with the
some great,
flow.
yeah, go with the flow, and some great stuff will happen with you. And it actually worked for me.
Hmm.
And in like current days, it's hard to predict your future.
Hmm.
um, Honestly, I think that maybe in 5 or 10 years perspective, technological singularity will take place. So maybe the artificial intelligence and the robots will take care of me, and I just will laying down on
So
the.
you're looking for a new parent, as I understand. AI daddy. Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But taken seriously, it's a little bit funny that I'm confident in my future more nowadays with such an unpredictable, I don't know, events and unpredictable world. But when your planning horizons are so tiny, but now at least I have plans with my business, so I'm gonna to proceed with that. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, it won't be only a recruitment business. Maybe it will be some kind of I don't know,
Tech startup.
grow, maybe tech startup, maybe the company with broader line of services
Hmm.
to provide. But I still see myself in the HR field because I'm
Hmm.
passionate about it a lot,
Hmm.
and I don't plan to quit. A lot of my colleagues and former colleagues asked me about changing the vector of my career, changing the specialty, and so forth. But
Hmm.
I always answer such questions that I really love what I'm doing, and
Hmm.
I plan to stay in this field and develop myself in it. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, I will own a company of I don't know, hundreds of employees. I
Hmm.
would dream about it, and maybe with the branch in US. I also thinking about that because US is a huge market, and it's super perspective and so on.
Maybe you
But
will acquire our business, so yeah, I'll make an exit and go to retirement. Ah.
cool, cool, cool. Maybe, yeah. And also, I'm super interested in getting know better the Asian market because it's another kind of tech hub. I was in Japan 6 years ago. I would love to visit Singapore and to understand what is going on there because there are also a lot of interesting stuff are going on there. I know about
Mhm.
Singapore that in South Korea also these countries has interesting developments in quantum computing. So
Taiwan, do.
my interest also kind of line in those sphere. But
Mhm.
yeah, I hope that in 5 or 10 years, Recrucial will be still exist, and maybe just will be a little bit bigger than today.
And do you see yourself in Netherlands, in Amsterdam, in near Amsterdam or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that me and my husband, we are super very lucky persons that because we liked the country, we moved in
Mhm.
so much. We really put it a lot of effort to stay here, and we both learning the Dutch language,
Mhm.
and we um, plan to stay here. We love this country a lot. We have a home here already, so yeah, in terms of the residency, I really, really like the Netherlands, and despite the taxes, despite the all the circumstances, despite the weather, which is, I need to say, better rather than Belarus. We would like to stay here, maybe live in another countries for a month or two
Mhm.
to dive deep into the culture. For example, I would like to live sometime in Japan, and also in Italy, because Italy has a lot of art museums, and I think I need to explore them all. So, but as a main residency, I consider Netherlands for the rest of my life. That's why I choose Amsterdam in your Blitz, because I no longer tied my life and, I don't know, my expectations with the Belarus and Minsk.
Mhm.
I hope that someday I can visit our country safely. I can visit my family and friends there.
Mhm.
But in terms of the permanent residency, I would like to stay in the Netherlands.
Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for being here. It was such a pleasure to talk to you and to get to know you more. And I wish you good luck. I wish your company good luck, and I hope that global warming will make the weather in Netherlands even better. So,
Thank you.
but not too much, not to not to get this floodings, but just to have a rest on the beach under the sun. Yeah, so
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and for having me here. It was super cool to get to know you, and I hope that our connection will develop in time. And it
yeah,
is
me too.
not the last time we are talking to each other.
To our listeners, I hope you enjoyed as much as we have. So, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who could use a little inspiration. See you!